Hi, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to Tuesday's meditation. We are going to continue the flow of feeling our feelings this week. We started with forgiveness and what that felt like, and last week we tapped into fear and what that looked like to us in many different forms. And this week we are going to look at anger. Again, something that comes in so many different forms. We can be angry at the littlest things in life. We can be angry at ourselves. We can, throw a fit because we can't open the pickle jar. Or we can hold grudges for our entire lives against somebody that might have wronged us somewhere along the line. So anger kind of plays a role with forgiveness as well. And learning how to forgive and get over, I wouldn't say get over, work through, work through our anger. Some things, you just don't get over in your life, and but you can work through how to react differently. Anger is a difficult one. Some of us have no anger. I've seen people in life just always smiling and happy and having a wonderful time. And maybe they just have anger deep down that they don't let out, and one day they're going to explode. Maybe they're just happy people, and that's a wonderful thing. But most of us experience the same emotions in our lives at some point. So while we might not be angry all the time, it's hard to express anger or feel angry, things just don't bother us so much. That's great. But some of us are just angry all the time. You see those people with these grouchy faces, and it looks like they're just mad at the world 24/7. And it's no way to live. It's no way to live. So we want to learn how to kind of get over these feelings of where we want to just scream. And maybe we do scream. Maybe we scream, we get it out, and then we move on and start to work through it. So many different ways to deal with our anger. If you joined me, oh my gosh, about a month ago, when we talked about our Osho meditation and the different expressing different emotions through meditation, and one of the things was yelling, shouting, getting out that anger, yelling at someone maybe that's not in front of you, but saying the things you never got to say to that person, just to get it out, get out that energy from the body. And the same with laughing and crying and all of those things. It's ways to release all of that stuck, stagnant energy that sits in our bodies and then creates physical pain. So today we work through anger. So hopefully you're not feeling angry today, but if you are, it's the perfect day to work through it and get it out. Just get it all out. Before we begin, we are going to warm up. So one of the great things in movement is that any kind of movement works. So whether it's jumping up and down, whether it's running a mile, it might be just stomping your feet on the floor, any kind of movement to get out that stagnant energy is going to do wonders. It might sound silly, but the more you sit still, the more those emotions just sit in your body and get a little deeper. So you need to shake it off, like Taylor Swift says, shake it off. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to shake a little bit. So let's start by breathing. So sit up tall in your chair. Get that nice posture going. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Fill those lungs all the way up. Hold the breath. And then really let it out. Good. Again, breathe in. Fill all the way up. Hold. And breathe it out. Good. 3 more times. Breathe in. Hold the lungs full. and let it go. Inhale. Hold and let it out. Good. One more time. Big breath. Hold it in and breathe it away. Good. Feels good. Now we're cleaning out the insides with the breath. All right. Let's start with our shoulders. We're just going to take the shoulders and move them up and down. Remember, we're just kind of shaking off some energy. So whatever that looks like to you, you can do it fast, you can do it slow, whatever feels good. So just up and down with the shoulders. Start to get some movement there. Nothing crazy. And notice how that feels, just to get the body going. Good. And then let's bring the arms into it. So take the arms and just start to shake them out. It doesn't have to be a specific movement. It can be one at a time. It could be both together. It could be above your head. Just get those arms shaken. Imagine kind of like throwing the energy away from you. Like, ugh, get it out, go away. Good, and then the hands. Shake those hands out. The wrists. If it's warm, maybe fan yourself. It's been quite warm outside, so give yourself a little fan. Good. Then the feet. You're not going to see my feet, but we're just going to stomp those feet. Just get them on the floor. Feel the feet on the ground. And then feel all that energy coming up through the bottom of the feet into the legs. Pound it out. All right. Then the body, those big circles. Just get that upper body moving. Again, you can go nice and slow, or you can spin fast. And then change direction. So whatever feels good. Back and forth, doesn't matter, just move. Stagnant energy is the worst thing to hold in the body. We got to get up and move, even if it's for a little bit a day, taking a walk down the hallway, doing some stretches, or again, just sitting in your chair and shaking the arms, shaking the shoulders, shaking the legs. It's still movement. It's still considered movement. So great. Okay. Maybe a little bounce in the chair. All right. Hopefully everyone's feeling a little like things have left the body, and internally as we took those deep breaths, and externally as we shook out our entire body. Now we can relax. So feel the energy. Take a moment to feel all that energy. Maybe you can feel the blood flowing. Maybe you feel a little tingly in your fingers and toes from moving. Maybe we feel a little out of breath from the movement. So again, deep breath in. Hold and slowly breathe it out. And as you breathe out, start to relax into your chair. So sit back, let the feet be flat on the floor and supported. Let the arms rest here on the arms of your chair or on your lap. Let the back lean back and be supported by the chair that you're sitting in. Let your eyes gently begin to close. And then start to come back to that natural, unforced breath. Just breathing in, breathing out. Start to calm down that energy that we just kind of built up. Just breathing in and out and focusing on the breath for a moment. And sinking deeper into our chairs. relaxing deeper into our bodies. Letting go of all tension that you're holding in the muscles and in the bones and in the joints. And feel the breath relaxing the physical body. And as you become more and more relaxed, begin to imagine in your mind's eye the color red. When we think of anger, or when we see anger, maybe in a cartoon, the person turns red. Maybe smoke comes out of their ears. So we associate the color red with anger. We also associate it with love. Both ends of the spectrum. So just see in front of you the color red. And notice how that color makes you feel in this moment. And as you see that color red in front of you, begin to notice thoughts of anger that come up for you. Begin to notice things that make you angry, things that you're currently angry about, if you have any, or things from your past that made you angry, whether it was a situation or a person or a place or something that happened in your life. So begin to just visualize moments of anger surrounded by the color of red. And think about what truly made you angry. Was it something that was kind of silly and not such a big deal? Was it something that was forgivable? Was it a moment of anger that wasn't worth losing friendship or a relationship over? Or was it truly justified? Just take a moment to kind of figure out all of those feelings here. Was your experience with anger life-changing? Or were you able to work through it? Were you able to be angry and move forward from that? And we look back on our lessons of learning from an experience. And then holding on to anger or grudges and how that affects us. And probably not so much the person that made us angry, or the place that made us angry, or the situation that made us angry. And we look at what someone may have done to us, and we live with it for years and years. And then if we think about the other person or the other thing that brought us these emotions, we wonder if that person is affected the same way as we are. And if we can learn to cross over that gap to releasing the anger so we can find joy. And we don't have to live with that feeling of resentment. So continue to visualize whatever feelings are coming up for you. And see that color red burning so bright, like there was a fire surrounding that anger. Start to see those flames coming up from that situation that you're thinking of, or that person that you're thinking of. These bright orange and red flames. And then see if you can take a different emotion. Take the emotion of love and imagine that emotion of love putting out that fire. So maybe your love looks like a bucket of water. Maybe it looks like a fire extinguisher. Maybe it looks like one of those blankets that you throw over a flame. Maybe it just looks like you blowing out a bunch of candles, blowing out the fire. So in your mind's eye, begin to see that fire diminish. Putting out the fire, working past the anger. Maybe it takes just one swoop of that fire extinguisher to put it out. Maybe it's taking a little longer. And it's not as easy for that fire to distinguish. And we take this moment to just really see what that looks like, how hard it is for us to let go of that angry emotion that we have. And as the fire goes out, begin to visualize again that feeling of love. And allow that feeling of love to surround that person or that situation or that place, or maybe yourself. Maybe the anger comes from within, and we see just love surrounding us. And the feeling of being embraced and knowing that it's okay. It's okay to be angry, but it's not healthy to hold on to it. In your mind, say to yourself, it's okay to move past things that have made me angry. It's okay to be angry and upset about a situation that was painful or hurtful. My feelings are valid. I am filled with love and forgiveness. I am filled with light. And sit with that feeling of lightness and love here in this moment. Again, knowing that it's okay to have these angry feelings towards yourself or towards others, but to hold on to them every single day is only creating your own suffering, creating your own grief, and depleting you from joy. Take a deep breath in. And take a slow breath out. And allow yourself to just feel light and lifted for a few more breaths. Feel as if all of that heavy weight of holding on to anger is lifted from your mind, from your body, from your heart. Begin to invite in some soft, gentle movement of the body. And wiggle your fingers to wake up your hands. Wiggle the toes inside of your shoes, waking up the feet. Let your head gently rock from side to side. Let go of any tension in the neck. And then come back to that nice seated position, pulled up in your chair, sitting up tall, feeling all of that space within the body, the lungs, the chest. And together, let's take another deep breath in here. Hold the lungs filled, and then let it all out. Give another shake to those shoulders. Make sure we're still loose and shaking off all of that emotion that is stored up within us. Hopefully today we were able to tap into some feelings of anger that might have been holding inside of us. Sometimes looking at the anger that we have might not be pleasant. Maybe it's something we don't want to remember or talk about. But it is better to think about it, to speak about it, to write it down, to get it out of the physical body and out of the mind, or else it just sits and becomes stagnant and causes us much more pain than we can ever feel in our hearts. It might turn into another illness, it might turn into an ache and a pain, and it's much harder to get rid of those physical ailments than it is to get rid of our emotional ailments. It's work, and you got to put the work in order to achieve these goals of emotional freedom. But remember, it's okay to feel these feelings, but we really want to focus on feeling them, knowing that they're there, knowing that we have fear, knowing that we can't forgive, knowing that we have this anger built up, and to be able to say it's okay, and to be able to breathe it away and shake it off and forgive, and maybe not forget, but to at least allow it to leave the mind for the moment so we can still move through life experiencing joy and goodness and having trust in people and love and all of those things that make life so much better. Keep your heart open this week. Don't be angry. And if anger comes up, if somebody gets you really mad, give them a hug. Even in the moment, maybe you're yelling at somebody, and instead of walking away, turn around and give them a hug. And even if it's not you don't have an explanation for it, you just hug them and walk away. It's better than holding on to that anger for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Keep joy in your heart and peace in your mind, and I will see you next week.